you guys. All right, so today, y'all, I just wanted to hang out and talk. We just got back from our trip, and I fully was going to give myself a break this week. I've gotten better about that. Not that that's like a bad thing, because we all need to take breaks and stuff, but I mean, I feel like, I don't even want to say this, but I've done this a long time. So many videos, like weekly, and I'm proud of that, you know. So listen, if I need to take a break every now and then, I can. But I don't know. I really was like, okay, this week there's a lot going on. Come back from the trip, getting, you know, and then Livy was away too, so getting her back together and getting us all kind of going again. And I was like, oh no, I'm gonna film a video this week. There's some other things, and then I was like, you know what? I want to catch up with you guys. We still had so many unanswered questions from the last video, and when I was looking, because you know you guys submitted questions for the Q&A that asked me anything, I feel like they were the best questions. And then I started looking and I was like, this is like half of the questions, and the other half that I didn't answer were probably like the best set. So that's what we're gonna do today. Usually a part 2 is just like leftovers, and I'm like, this was like honestly the ones I probably should have included in that first one, but whatever. So we're gonna get to that. A few things at the top. What else? Oh my gosh, okay, if you guys don't listen to our podcast, check that out. We recapped the whole trip, and we're doing like a lot of deep dives on Love is Blind, and so just some things that I haven't like really heard anywhere else. And we know, I mean, we have a lot of listeners, and a lot of listeners are connected to perhaps like different shows, or you know, I get info on, you know, some Bravo things here and there, or you know, this was like just a funny story, but there's a very intense guy on Love is Blind, and one of our listeners is a coworker of this dude, and it was just wow, insight, okay? And I don't know, we really get deep into just these dynamics of these relationships, and I find it so fascinating. And I've told a lot of people this, and we broke down the Ultimatum on our podcast maybe 2 years ago, a year ago, I don't even know, with 2 different seasons we've broken down of that one. And it's also the same, it's on Netflix, The Ultimatum. It's the same production company, or the same guy does it as Love is Blind. And it's also hosted by Nick and Vanessa, which you know, that's interesting. They dabble in, they dabble out. You know, like, why are they here? I don't know, we don't know. The stainless cups, it's all a little jarring, right? It's all the same, right? Ultimatum has stainless cups, but those are stemless. I mean, but they kind of went to the stemless ones in the last episodes of Love is Blind. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you're probably like, Tiffany, what are you talking about? I don't know, you guys. But watch the last season of the Ultimatum, the latest one. There were some characters, and that show's interesting because it's like people that come in, right, that are in a relationship, and either the guy or the girl, one of them is wanting to get married and the other one's being hesitant. So one of them issues an ultimatum. They come in, they tell their story. They kick it with Nick and Vanessa. And, you know, they're sitting there. Vanessa's telling you all about how she had it. Well, you know, Nick and I had an ultimatum. You know, it's just everything. Like someone could come up to her and, oh, yeah, you know, we're going to get married. Did I tell you about the time I gave Nick an ultimatum? Like, that's all the show's about. Okay, that's the only reason they're there. But cute, and it's not their fault. I just feel like sometimes I don't understand why they're there. Like in the beginning of Love is Blind, they come in, they're hosting this show. You think they're gonna be a bigger part of it than they are. Then they skedaddle, because it's like kind of documentary style. Like you don't really need that. And that's not their fault. I just think production-wise, it's like, and I think they're getting a little savvier, and I think since there's a lot more eyes on it this season, I think the next seasons are gonna be even better. Just like with what they show. They don't catch so many of these moments, like when the guys are talking to the other girls and the dude, Jeremy with an A, is like seeing like another girl that he dumped from the show behind his fiance's back. It's a whole thing. Like fire up the cameras, you know what I mean? Like trail that guy. You should be following their locations all the time. Production. Okay, no. But the ultimatum, you know, Nick and Jessica, wow. Nick and Vanessa come in and on let's talk about Love is Blind. And then, you know, you think they're going to be a bigger part of it. So they come in and you think they're going to be a bigger part of it with Love is Blind, right? And then I think that's where the disconnect is that then like they're not talking to these people at all during all of this process in the pods, and then they pick their person, and then they go to the Dominican Republic for the trip. They meet all the other people. They go and they live in apartments for the first time on their own. They see where each other lives. They meet the family. Nick and Vanessa nowhere to be found. Well, then suddenly, like a week before the wedding, Nick and Vanessa roll in, and they're helping him pick out their wedding dresses and their tuxedos. And it seems very disingenuous because it seems like bad acting on their part. I'm not knocking them, but it's just because they don't know these people. Like, they haven't been so involved. So, like, I don't really believe the concern or it's just odd. It's a very odd feeling. And then if you watched the old like Love is Blind or Ultimatums, like Nick and Vanessa host those reunions, and it's always a little like unsatisfying. Like, I feel like they don't ask the good question. I don't know. I think it's gonna be good. I'm not knocking anything. I really hope this reunion's really good for this season of Love is Blind. Okay, catch up with season 6 of Love is Blind. It's good. Everybody's talking about it. But if you like this and you can't get enough, which a lot of people are really liking this, go back and watch the last seasons of the Ultimatum. Start with the most recent season of the Ultimatum, which I don't know what number it is. But don't start at the beginning because, I mean, they're okay. And I've seen them all. But the very last season of the Ultimatum, the most recent one's really good. But yeah, so it's like couples in the Ultimatum that come in. One's issuing an ultimatum, they want to get married. And then all the couples kind of start mingling together, right? And of course, they're all from Charlotte. So I'm like, if you're from Charlotte, y'all better watch out because they're coming for you, okay? This whole town's going to be taken over by the mixing and the mingling, okay? So watch out. Be careful. Don't get scooped up. But they then start mixing together. So naturally, like, if a man's really, like, hot and you know what, to get married, and he's the one that issued the ultimatum, well, then this other woman from another relationship that's really, like, wanting to get married that issued the ultimatum, they might come together and be like, well, we both want to get married. So all these people start mixing. And then they start having to, okay, well, I'm going to pick a different person to live with. I know this sounds nuts. This is nuts. How does this exist in our world? I don't know. Okay, so they all get in this, like, boardroom table, right? Nick and Vanessa are at the head of it. And they all have to go and say, I choose this other person. I choose this other person. And they're going to, like, live with other people and see, like, could we be compatible, or do I really want to go back and marry my other person? And then they go on vacation. Then they all come back together. Then they see, so it's very like, and then at the end there's a wedding and they have to either go through with it or not, which I don't know. Okay, like, I don't think that's you guys know my thoughts on this if you listen to the podcast. It's a lot. But listen, very entertaining nonetheless. I mean, there's worse things we could be watching, right? But I love this stuff. It's so good, and seems like so many people are watching it. It's getting a lot of attention, but I don't know if you're like, Tiffany, just break it down. I mean, I broke it down in so much painful detail. Brad and I break it down every week on the podcast, and we've done a deep dive on all of these couples and just kind of reading the different situations. So it is very interesting. I feel like it's very interesting. You guys are liking it over there. All the Love is Blind talk, but I just wanted to drop that, like, watch the Ultimatum if you haven't. And again, y'all know too my history with Nick Lachey. He is my arch nemesis, and I'm not just saying that to be funny. He did not physically remove me from a meet and greet, but he did have me kicked out of a celebrity meet and greet one time, which I guess I'll tell that story because it is funny. I've told it on the podcast and stuff, and so every time I see Nick Lachey, I'm like, but years ago, my friend and I were at a New Kids on the Block concert. I know, don't ask, it's not my first taste of music, but I love it for the nostalgia because, like, but nothing more fun than going to a New Kids on the Block concert. Okay, amazing. So it's kind of our thing that we do. And it was the year when I believe it was 98 Degrees and Backstreet Boys, or just, I know this sounds like a lot, or just 98 Degrees were touring with New Kids on the Block. And it was Phillips or what's it called? State Farm. Is that what it's called now? I just always call it Phillips Arena. You guys know what I'm talking about. CNN Center, Atlanta. It's been called so many different things over the years. I'm very familiar with that. Like, I've seen so many shows there, concerts. So when you're in the CNN Center, you know, there used to be like this Mexican restaurant we'd always hit. Now we go to the steakhouse, and, you know, you can go in the back way to there's different ways that you can get in then when you're ready to go to the show. And it's just like this little, not mall, but kind of like a, you know, like some restaurants, little open kind of area. Looks like a atrium of a shopping mall or something. A few little spaces. And then it connects to the, you know, Phillips Arena, whatever. So that's not what it's called. What is it? State Farm. Okay, it's probably not even right. We had ate at this Mexican restaurant, which again, I don't think is there anymore. Probably a couple margaritas deep. And I was like ready for the show, you know? And I'm going in and I see like, it's not like a clear spot. There's this hallway, we were going down it, you know, to get to where we needed to go. And there was this like door, and it had this like logo that said like, either like Live Nation or whatever it was, and it said like VIP, da da da. And I don't know, I was like, let's go. And I just leaned on this door and it opened, and I thought, okay. So, and this isn't usually me, I'm a rule follower, but I'm also kind of like, I don't know, let's have some fun. We're at a concert. Sometimes I can be a little bit of a rebel, okay? So I was like, let's just go. So we're walking down this hallway, and it's just like a bunch of doors, and I opened this door, and when I did, and it was just like, I knew I probably shouldn't have been here. It would have been like in a show, like comedy or something. Okay, like, you know, meet and greet, right? It's like, imagine 98 Degree, Nick and the gang, you know, they're all sitting at their little table. And like, say someone was filming, and then all of a sudden a door in the back behind Nick just opens, and it's just me, and I'm like me and my friend. So I walk in, and then I realize, well, it wasn't like a stage where everybody was like watching, but people were looking at it. They were really concerned with the people, so they weren't really paying attention to me. But I was like, we have to play it cool because now we're in, and you know, maybe we could find the New Kids on the Block one. That's one I'd love to kick it with Donnie. I met him a couple times, real nice guy. Like, let's find them. You know, maybe we'll ease our way through this and find our way into, you know, that meet and greet. That's one I'd like to be at, you know. So we go in, and I'm at this point like, okay, I'm not backing out, we're in, but now we have to act like we belong, right? We can't bolt to the door too fast. We have to kind of, we don't draw attention to ourselves as we've just come in this door. And there were some people that worked there kind of standing around. It was just kind of a lot going on. So I thought, let's boogie, you know? So we're, hi, hello, you know, we kind of walk out. And as we're kind of walking out behind the thing, of course, someone kind of notices, we don't have our lanyard. Now, some of these women at these things, like, New Kids on the Block's like, real good time, okay? The crowd, my age or slightly older, fun, okay, good time gals. Some, though, are there thinking, this is mine. Like, I'm married to this guy. He's, like, how dare you be here? You don't have a lanyard? Get out. Like, I'm not kidding. These women squealed on us so fast. I was like, oh, and they were looking at us like, peasants, like, get them out of here. Because they had these lanyards on that were this big. And I'm like, oh, God. And so we're just walking, and then Nick is kind of second to last. And largest head I've ever seen in my life. And he turns around, someone kind of draws attention, and he turns around and he's like, get him out of here. Okay. And I was like, I'm leaving. Where's the door? I don't want to be here. This is a mistake. I don't want to be at this meet and greet. You know, I'm trying to like get out. So every time I see Nick Lachey, it's just not a good feeling. If only it was my fault. I'm not saying like, how dare you? It was funny, but he is my arch nemesis. Don't particularly enjoy him on the show. They do give off big, like, okay, this is a couple who clearly has, I mean, Vanessa, you don't have to tell us you issued an ultimatum. We can quite frankly tell, you know what I mean? But it's so interesting. That show is very, very interesting, okay? And what's really interesting, we talked about this on the podcast a lot over the years of like, you know, getting engaged and, you know, relationship red flags and how to kind of navigate certain situations, how to like build your relationship, make it better. Like we've hit lulls. Our relationship, I feel, is better than ever because we're older, we're more comfortable together. I feel like things are like hotter and more fun because we're more comfortable. And that wasn't always, not always the case. We've had a great relationship, but you hit highs and lows. And we give a lot of, I think, info. We've been together for 20 years, married for 16, and I feel like we do have a lot to share from, you know, then being parents, and we do get very deep about our relationship there. Again, we have like 100, I don't know, 50, 60 episodes at this point, but it's really fun, and I really do enjoy that and talking about all this crap. But who would have thought, like, the trashiest show on TV, I hate to say that, because I mean, gosh, y'all, when I talk about, like, Housewives or all this crap on Netflix, I'm not saying I'm watching anything, like, groundbreaking, okay? But, like I said, we could be watching better things, but, I mean, we're all in on the joke. Nobody thinks that we're watching, like, some groundbreaking, like, cinema or, like, something really highbrow. It's entertaining, okay? And you gotta lean into it. But I do feel like these shows that are so just kind of, oh, it's a little Netflix show, whatever, really does kind of pull some really good, interesting conversations about these relationship dynamics, about, you know, red flags and, you know. So we have so enjoyed breaking it down. But yeah, it's so good. And I watched the latest episodes, which I was so upset. I thought they were going to drop 3 last night, and they only dropped 2. So we have 2 more weeks to go. Next week's the finale, and then the reunion. But catch up on that, you guys. I think it'll bring you some joy, okay? I love to share things that might bring you some joy. What's happening next week? On the 8th, next Friday, I'll be dropping a video with so many great new finds. I cannot wait to show you guys these spring finds from, oh my gosh, I've got like Anthropologie things, some Abercrombie things, and they're doing the LTK spring sale. So be sure to follow my LTK. I have a collection at the top of my shop that is, and if you guys ever are curious about anything, links or whatever, LTK, my profile, is literally just a collection of all of anything that I've linked. Photos like you see on Instagram, but styled outfits, looks and stuff, and you can search at the top. But at the top I have a little collection that says LTK, oh I said STK, what am I talking about? LTK spring sale. And it's posts of items that, you know, will work during the sale, and you have to get the code through LTK. It'll generate that, so when you click something that you want, it'll pop up the code to enter at checkout. 20% off at Anthropologie starting on the 8th, and 20% off of Abercrombie. Really exciting. This top is Abercrombie. I'll link to that, but follow my LTK and favorite some items so that when the sale goes live, you can just grab the code. It'll like email you and you can just pop right out. So here we go. This top is so good. I love Abercrombie sweatshirts. I'm gonna go this way. They are so soft and cozy. And I mean, just the material is like that real buttery soft material, real soft on the inside, right? Just feels so good. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like there's some sweatshirts that are soft, but then they're just hard. What am I trying to say? They're not fleecy on the inside. They're soft, but they're hard. You feel what I'm saying? But these are so good. But I really love this half zip. I like that it's not so big and long, and I like it with jeans. These jeans are from Abercrombie as well. This is my favorite cut of jean from them, and they have this one, probably no joke, like 20 washes. And what I think is interesting is it's not just, can you see the bottom? It's not just the wash that's different. Like, see, these have like a double waistband. Some of them have like, you know, I don't even know how to explain it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same cut, but every wash has like slightly different details. So I like that, because if I ever find a pair of jeans that I'm really into, what just happened to my camera? Pressed a button, it's doing something weird. Oh no. Oh no, I think it just changed the focus or something. So sorry. If you ever find a pair of jeans that you like, you know, normally I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna get one pair, whatever. Then like if you want like a different wash, or you just want the same, you might buy like 2 of the same, or you might get a different wash and it's just like dark pair, light pair. I like that I know the size fits me. I know the cut works. I love the material, but I can literally buy like 5 different pairs in different washes, but they look like different style. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. I'll link to all of that. And I like this. It has like some little hotel logo. So cute. I wore this when we were on our trip a lot. I brought it, and it was just kind of my cozy, like throw it on to, you know, go to breakfast, or I wore this to the spa, and it was just really nice. So I had the best facial ever at the spa at the Grove Park Inn. Oh my gosh, if you ever go, ask for Leslie. She was amazing. I felt like my face had been through a car wash in the best possible way. I had like lymphatic drainage, I had a massage, I had, like, I could tell a difference in my skin, and she really gave me some very good tips. And I know we're just talking about a lot of different things in this one, but I do want to share this because skincare is so interesting. We talk about it so much, and you know, I think I like to share with you guys things that I've learned. And you know, I learned so much just from this woman. She's an esthetician. She was so knowledgeable. And I always say, like, I feel like if you just get a facial here and there, I've had some real dudderoony ones, like real dud ones that are just like, okay, let's just put some lotion, it's just nothing. $200. I'm like, whoa, okay. This one was actually like, she was doing something. She was doing things. And I think if you're under the care of like an esthetician long term, or you see one once a month or whatever, you can really start to notice a difference. If you just like go every now and then to someone that's just like, you don't really, then I don't know. Okay, facial's not gonna change your life in one visit. I feel like this one kind of did. I really loved it. I feel like later in the day, this woman that I was talking to that worked at the hotel a lot, she was like, you look good, like you're glowing. I was like, thank you. Just had a facial. Go to Leslie. No, but I'm gonna tell you, some things that she told me sort of added up with a lot of things that dermatologists have told me. 2 different dermatologists have told me. We've talked about this in the past about retinols, and retinols are like the gold standard. I always talk about like AHAs, BHAs, like I love anything like that, but retinols over the years have just never done much for my skin. And I know people are like, oh no, but science. It's like some people can do things, some people can't. It wasn't that my skin was sensitive to it. I just felt like it gave me a very, like it made my skin look burned. Not burned in a bad way, but just not glowy in a shiny, pretty way, in a smooth way. Almost like a shell, which then caused crepiness. And we were talking about that, and I was just telling her products that I use. I like a physical exfoliant. She was saying, that's fine, just don't do it too much, because then you don't want to thin your skin, She's a gentle one. And you don't want to do things abrasive. And that's the thing, like when you say, oh, I use a physical exfoliant, they're so wildly different that you do have to find a good one, okay? Talking about retinols, AHAs, BHAs, she said the same thing that a dermatologist told me a long time ago, which there's this epidemic. I feel people using retinols every single day, especially around your eye, thinking, if I use retinols around my eyes, it looks like an alligator, like I feel like it's just not good. Now, long term, you might think, oh, it might soften up your skin. Well, it's just always creating like an irritation, which is good if you're doing like like when you do like a facial, or not a facial, but like a laser, right? You aren't doing that all the time. Maybe once a year, every several years, you do that and it kind of resurfaces your skin. If you were doing that all the time, your skin would look like you've been injured. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it'll look crepey, and it'll create that little, you think it's smooth, but it's like a shell. And retinols can do that. They can really thin your skin. And she was saying like I had good volume and stuff, but my forehead skin is very thin. And I'm really going to cut back, I think, on using a lot of AHAs and BHAs and things that you might just think that you use every day that just aren't a big deal, or like a mask that I might use maybe too much or something. Watch that, and if you feel like you've got like some crepey skin or whatever, maybe like I'm trying to just adjust what I use. I'm glad that I haven't really hit the retinols hard in a long time, or that I really kind of didn't push that. But I'm curious as to what people's skin, and I said this a long time ago, retinols make your skin, so do AHAs, BHAs make your skin so sun sensitive, but we're also concerned about the sun. And she's like, no amount of sunscreen, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna have some sun damage. What is this epidemic of just like even younger people starting off with retinols and with AHAs and using all of these things, even with a sunscreen or even with whatever, what is that doing to your natural skin barrier over time? Every now and then is great, but I think just making it a quote gold standard to use every single day, I think is a little not great, but I told her like what I use, like the creamy cleanser I use and my moisturizers, and all that Biossance stuff is really great, and that serum that I use. But really, I'm gonna try not to use like the AHA pads every day or all the time, or maybe just like a couple times a week or something. So I don't know, just something to think about. But I just was like, you know what? I take people's opinions, even professionals, not with a grain of salt, because they know what they're talking about. But sometimes like certain things dermatologists have recommended don't work for me, because and things that people that are estheticians recommend would never work for me. But I've heard 2 dermatologists say this, and she told me this, and I thought that really makes sense. Like that's something maybe I couldn't convey when I would always say what a doctor had told me about retinols, and to be a little careful, or that maybe I shouldn't be using them because of like, maybe because my skin's thin up here. I don't know. I don't know, okay, whatever. Just talk to somebody you trust about that. But maybe don't be so blind to focus on like what maybe an influencer tells you, and it's some like real heavy duty skincare thing, and you think I'm going to use every day, and then it wrecks your skin or does cause a lot of sun damage, or like, oh, I'm going to use retinols starting in my 20s, 30s, whatever, and then when you're 40s, 50s, you're gonna probably have some crepey skin that's sun damaged. So it kind of does something else, okay? But not, and I know people that are diehard for retinols, yeah, be that, but like maybe just don't use them every single day. I don't know, but if that works for you, do it. But I wonder like what your skin will look like when you're much older. You know, I don't know, but it's just something to think about. And I just wanted to tell you all that because it was kind of like a warning thing. And I thought, I don't want people to be using these. Okay. So I went back to that Instagram post, and again, I don't know, it was very strange. I was like, literally there were like over half of the comments, you know, that I didn't see. Because what I'll do is I'll go there and I'll just kind of screenshot like as I go up. That way it's in my camera, you know, and then I don't have to be accessing my Instagram and going to, and I guess I just skipped over so many. Like there's a huge block of them that I didn't see. So I've got 5 pages on my phone of these questions that look like this, and these are new ones, and I don't know if I'm gonna get to all of them, clearly, because we've talked so much at the beginning of this. Real important stuff though, right? Okay, do you watch YouTube beauty videos? I have so many friends that do them and stuff, but again, I don't, and I really never did. I would watch my friends every now and then if I were interested in them, but it's kind of like, not that this is work, but if you do something and then like you want to go hang with your family, or you want to like go do something, like if you're a teacher, you know, well, that's a bad example because teachers have to do a lot when they come home. I always say like if you work at the post office, well, when you're off work, are you going to be like checking if everyone down your street got them? Are you going to be like hanging out at the post office? No, you're off. So I'm not hanging out on YouTube, and I'm not a social media scroller. And I'm thankful for that because I think all of us are just kind of embedded. It's not even a bad thing. It's just our culture. We're always scrolling social media. Oh my God, Kenneth on Love is Blind. Am I right? Oh, that's a whole story. But, you know, the phones do change you. And I'm proud of like at least something really good that's come from maybe what I've done over these last several years. It started 16 years ago, which was really when I don't even know if I had a smartphone then. I think smartphones kind of came out like maybe right then. I don't know. I mean, smartphones, but like an iPhone. Okay, but we didn't have like all this social media then. So truly like doing this, my job or whatever, it's turned into so many different, but you know, this whole like cornerstone of everything has to do with like media and like online stuff and social media, what I do. And I'm happy that it kind of just made me not, I guess, want to use social media as just like, oh, like a reprieve, like, oh, if I'm sitting, that's what I'm gonna do. Last thing I'm gonna do. What the hell was this question? Do you watch YouTube beauty videos? And that's the answer why it's no. Not because I don't want to, or because, like, again, I love my friends. If a friend of mine like drops a video that hasn't in a while, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's she doing? But then if you're my friend on YouTube, like I'm texting you anyways. We have a relationship outside of that, or DMing or whatever, you know what I mean? Like that's just not how we're keeping up, or that's not how I'm keeping up with you or supporting you. But I don't know. And also when you do something, I find that if you consume too much content similar to what you do, you start to become influenced to do all that. That's why everything kind of looks the same now. That's why on TikTok, everybody's doing the same things. YouTube videos, a lot of them start just looking the same. And maybe sometimes like if I didn't want to keep up with these trends or editing trends, or this is what I should be doing, this is how my content should look, I don't want to do that because I don't want it to look like everybody else's. You know, naturally you become influenced by like what you consume. So I just want to keep like my stuff just true to me, and I never want to feel like I'm thinking, oh, well, I should have done it that way, or any sort of competing, or any sort of like, oh, but look at that, or look at this. I don't want to ever feel that, so I just don't. And I think that's why I enjoy this so much. That's why it stayed so true. What's something you would tell your 8-year-old self? And as a mother of well, she's 9 now, she just turned 9. Being a mom has like not healed me from like, but when you do become a mom, I feel, when I became a mom, I feel like I became like more confident. And I feel like it sort of changed how I viewed the world, and just how like certain things I would deal with and certain things I would not. And, you know, or situations that suddenly I was just like, don't have time for this, because now I see what's really important. Like, don't understand these mom groups and people that have drama. Like, don't do it, okay? I'm not doing that because I've got like something real at home, or real friendship. You know what I'm saying? just what you have time for and what you don't. It really puts life in perspective. And when you're 8, or when you're, and I see Livy as this girl, and I see so much of myself in her, and I do try to tell her things that I wish I would have known, or, I feel like I always grew up with a lot of confidence. My family always made me feel good about myself and stuff. And, but I just always want to do things to build up her confidence, to let her know that she could do whatever she wants to do. This is just typical canned answers, but it's like, it sounds like canned answers, but it's like literally like, what I feel like what an 8-year-old should know. I talk to her a lot about like real life things. Like we talk about jobs and what the future is like, or college, or, what do you want to do? And, things, just conversations that you have with your kids once. I feel like 8-year-old's a good age because they start getting, I've seen the biggest change in her just these last 2 years, especially now. She's like becoming so grown up, and still a kid and loving, like it's my baby, but still I see just such a maturity in her that's like you see them changing. And my biggest thing, I think 8-year-olds and going into an age of, and of course she's homeschooled and stuff, but I think the stigma, again, we talk about that on the podcast, I've talked about that here, doesn't mean she's not seeing people. She probably is more. I see her, the way she talks to people and the way she can carry on conversations and how social she is compared to maybe some kids that are in school, they're just around a bunch of kids, or someone that, but then some kids, there's a balance, okay? And then there's some homeschool situations real bad, okay? But you can never have an image in your mind. You just do what's best for your child, okay? But talking about like friends and stuff and that whole environment of school, the average 8-year-old is going to be around, and even just friend groups. I mean, she's had issues with little friends and stuff, and I have to talk to her about that. We don't know what our kids are dealing with when they go to school and are sending our babies to like, their confidence can be so knocked down at school. And my biggest thing, and I was always so self-conscious about so many things, probably from interactions at school and stuff, and like idiots there, but I did okay, but I feel like it gives you like a good sense of humor and like makes you a little, you can tussle a little bit. But I do want her to, I always try to tell her, what she thinks of herself is the most important. Like, nobody can touch you. It still fucking hurts when someone says something mean to you. My age, if I get it's still like what, and I've seen it all, okay? But I just, trying to just instill that. And I think that's easier said than done. It goes in one ear and out the other. In a lot of cases, you kind of have to experience it. But I feel like I've always kind of wanted to instill like a feeling of confidence in her. And I think a good way to do that with your kid is like, if they do really well at school, like, oh my gosh, like, not like I'm proud. Like, of course I'm proud of you. I love you. But like, oh my gosh, you must feel so good about yourself. Like, like, how do you, like, you must feel so proud, Like, I want her to feel proud of herself, That wasn't the question, was it? It was what would I tell me as an 8-year-old? See, I'm avoiding the question. Probably something along that line of the people at school that are, they ain't gonna be killing it in 30 years. Or even less than, I hate to say that. I don't want to say that. People are great. God bless everybody. But I'm just saying, some of the people you think are just like killing it in school, or, oh my gosh, like, I really care about what this person says. I gotta go to school. I mean, that person matters nothing to your life. And you're gonna grow up and have an amazing life. And things that people say, even when I started this, the first couple years were kind of brutal. And I think people have kind of wised up, a little. People, occasionally I'll get the one like unhinged person that like follows me from platform to platform. Like, I won't get hate for like 5 years in my opinion. And I don't count like, oh, you look like a potato, or you look stupid, or don't like your outfit. That's not hate, okay? When someone really like goes in on you and acts like they know you, it's always just like one person that's like over a bunch of platforms. And recently I've had a little, there's been someone, I don't know what happened. Okay. But the point is, none of that matters, okay? No one would be killing it on social media. No one would be making a penny off of social media if haters or other people's opinions could take money out of your pocket or could matter in your life at all, okay? Because no one's ever been taken down, or nobody's ever, if anything, I feel like I got so much in the beginning and I just kept going. And I think over 16 years of that, seeing that no one's opinions mattered ever. It was my attitude. I kept going. I did what I wanted to do. Thus, I created a good community. We attract a good community of people. I met people over this weekend. I met like 4 or 5 different people that came up to me this weekend at like the sleepiest place, which was so odd because I haven't talked to anybody or no one's come up to me in a very long time. And so it was just funny that this all happened during the anniversary trip. But I always tell Brad, I'm like, right? Isn't it like the coolest people? Like, I don't know. I just feel like our community is so cool. And I don't know. I just, and that's what matters to me. And I always said I'd be fine with 2 people watching. I mean, I ain't doing that for that. You know what I mean? But my point is to tell your 8-year-old self, to tell yourself now, people's opinions don't matter. It's your opinion of yourself. Okay? That's the whole message of all this. You have to keep going. You know, people could say whatever, but it doesn't matter. That doesn't take money out of your pocket. That doesn't take you down a notch. That doesn't change who your future spouse is going to be, how they're going to look at you. It will if you let their opinions change you and beat you down. But if you don't give them any power, which they literally have no power, and I'm not talking about trolls on the internet, which I know that's a thing. I'm talking about like just people that you encounter in real life, people that you tussle with, people that aren't nice to you when you're a kid, things that you think are such a big deal at the time, not a big deal. And everything will work out, okay? Everything will always work out. Are you a camping person, yay or nay? I've got to be honest, I've never been camping. And when I was younger, it was always like, I guess because I never grew up camping, we would always go to like hotels and stuff. And I'd always be like, oh, that'd be so fun. Oh, Mom, I want to go to camp. And my mom's like I went through a phase where I really wanted to go to like a sleepaway camp. And first of all, my mom would have been like, no, which rightfully so. Thank you, Mom. But I just feel, which nothing wrong with the sleepaway camp. I'm just saying. I just feel like wonderful. Okay. Oh God, I'm not trying to offend anybody. Which isn't really like camping. I guess I just thought it would be kind of a fun adventure. Now it's not about roughing it or like not being bougie or not having what you need. I have become such a simple traveler as I've gotten older. I want to go to the most exotic places, the most relaxing places, the most whatever. But I'm taking one suitcase. We went to Disney for a week and I put all of our things in one suitcase. And then one suitcase, and then we brought our Dyson fan and I was like, I'm good. I am not, I get very anxious around things and juggling a lot of things, packing a lot of things. Camping seems like a lot of things and logistics. I could not enjoy myself going somewhere knowing my room isn't set up. I have to do that. And I don't trust myself to do it. And I mean, you know, I know you could be like in a camper, like a bougie, you know, RV, which that wouldn't be bad. But I wouldn't want to do that just because I know I wouldn't be driving it, Brad would, and I don't think I'd want to be traveling with him behind the wheel of an RV. That would be very stressful. He's a great driver. He would hate that, okay? He'd be so impatient. He'd be pissed the whole time. It just seems like a lot of work. Recommendations for a travel makeup bag. I have the same one that I've had for years, and I'll go get it. Hold on. Gosh, this is kind of perfect because we just got back and I literally, when I did my makeup this morning, unpacked this to put it back in my drawer. So it would have been nice to keep it in here, I guess, to show you. But, I mean, it's just the stuff I use every day. It's no big deal. Okay, this is a nice bag. I mean, I don't know how expensive it is now. I've had mine for many, many years. It's held up beautifully. You know, it's got some water spots. I don't mind this vachetta that gets a water spot on it. I will say, though, like, my bags that have like the vachetta handle, you know, it looks like this leather. If you're ever in a rainstorm or you ever get a drop of water on it and it gets spotted, it will look spotted until the end of all time, unless if you wet the whole thing. And that sounds terrifying. It's not. Just get a little bit of water, like in a water bottle or something, and just rub it on it, and then the whole thing will even out and it'll be fine. My backpack, the big Louis Vuitton backpack that I have that I bring to Disney World, that thing has been completely soaked in rainstorms at Disney World. And the vachetta is all the same color because it's all been evenly wet and the bag looks brand new. I mean, I hate to say that, but these bags that are expensive, I don't want to say shouldn't be babied, but I really don't believe in that. I don't buy something if you're going to be like, oh, I can't. No, why do you think they're so expensive? They're supposed to last. Now, they're made out of, you know, materials that you can't wreck or that you may have to like do a little different things to, but don't be afraid of it. And if they do get spotted, who cares? Just enjoy. So, okay. This bag, really nice. I'll try to link to the exact one. I haven't looked at it in years. I don't even know if they still have it. But I also brought this because I used to really bring both of these. This is the little toiletry bag that's pretty popular. People, you know, have carried these for years. My grandma came over the other day and she has an old one someone gave her years and years ago, and she was carrying hers like as a clutch. It was real cute. But I see people use these a lot, and I think that's fine if you're going to be carrying multiple things. I put everything in this. I mean, and I don't pack shampoo. The days of that are over. Everywhere you go has shampoo, unless you're camping. So I don't know, another reason maybe to think about camping. No, I'm kidding. But I use the hotel shampoo, even like the body lotion and stuff. I'm not packing all that crap, and it's just fine. Okay, so just make your life easier. But this thing is so nice. I have this mirror in it. It's one of those Simple Human makeup mirrors that I've had for years that I really love. This is the foundation that I always bring on a trip. It's the smaller size of the Armani Luminous Silk, so I just always leave it in here. Got a little brush cleaner. And then, so those are things that are always in here that I don't remove. But I like it because it's got these little, you can see it's a little dirty, but I mean, why not? You can wipe it out and clean it. Why shouldn't it be dirty? Like, it's a makeup bag. I put my brushes in this in the back and kind of sit them upright and then kind of push them over to the side and it'll close. But when you sit it on the vanity, the brushes stick up, so it's perfect. You can sit your perfume bottle in there. It's so giant that my makeup usually is just in a tiny little part of it. And then I'll put like my supplements, or if I do want to bring, you know, a face wash, okay, my moisturizer, that's something I always pack. I just put that in here. It fits perfectly. Little lip liners, little eyeliners on the side, and I love this, because in here I have like hair things, got my little hair clips, you know, for when you're doing your makeup, just all kinds of little hair things. And then I'll put like Q-tips and flossers in there. I put my toothbrush in this thing, and it's perfect. It's like everything's in there. You don't have to worry about it. And I think they make one that has a mirror. If anyone's like, oh, I need one with a mirror, you don't, because just have a mirror, and your compacts probably have a mirror, like a blush or a powder or something, a bronzer. Bring another mirror, but don't try to like find a nice makeup bag or that has a mirror in it, because I'm never gonna be like holding it doing that, especially with my brushes sticking up. This is the best thing. Zipper's real smooth. I will use this thing until it completely falls apart. I'll have this, Livy will have this the rest of her life, you know what I mean? Okay. Oh, and then I brought this in too. This is what's always in my purse. My friend Jen gave me this years ago, and I love it so much. It's a little Prada makeup bag. I don't think they sell it anymore, but it holds so much. It's just a little floppy bag. It's always in a purse. Sorry, my battery went dead. It's just always in any purse that I have. It holds so much, but I keep so much more than just makeup in here. Like hand cream, I keep my pens in here. This is something that, I mean, if you guys didn't buy this, there's times like when I wouldn't even need to pack foundation. I could just use this, but this is something that I always have with me. It's the Merit Minimalist Foundation Stick, and I use the shade Linen. This is a foundation stick, and you just rub it. But like, I love it for like touching up, right? Like, I don't touch up with extra. I blot, okay, if I get oily, but I'm not piling on like powder or anything, because that can be like a little clogging, especially if you mix powder with oils. But I'll put it here. If I have a little blemish, but it is the easiest way to refresh. And it's so nice. Okay, but just, I don't know, but that's the thing. But I would say a train case type of makeup bag that's shaped like this, doesn't have to, obviously not that exact one, but just one that looks like that. You can really put so much in it. I see people that are like packing so many different, like, well, this is my makeup bag, this is my skincare bag, this is my throw it all in there, because once you get to a place anyways, you're gonna set your, keep your makeup in a bag, but you're gonna set your toiletries or your skin things by the sink. You'll set your toothbrush out. So, and then you just have to like store those bags away. Just throw it all in there, or even like put the separate things into separate Ziploc bags and then stick them in there. But, and I just love the structure of that to set up on a vanity, like wherever I go, you know what I mean? So How long were you a teacher before full-time content creator? It's so funny how things kind of change over the year. I mean, I know content creator, like, oh, well, that's what I was doing then. And I really don't even like that word because I think we're all creating content. I think it's just over the years of finding a name of what I do, like when I started, do I say like I'm a YouTuber? Oh, I'm doing this. I didn't want to say that. So literally I would just say self-employed, own a business, own a business in media. But I don't know. So sometimes like the influencer, the content creator, it all gives me the ick. How long were you a teacher before full-time content creator? So I went to school to be a teacher. I never had a full-time salaried position. I went to school for 6 years, mostly because I worked during school, and there were some where I was just like taking like 2 hours and working at the mall. Okay. But so yeah, it took me a while to get through. But when I think of those years, those last years that you did have to work just completely kind of full-time, even before student teaching, and you couldn't really have another job because it was really tough. And I worked a year in a 3rd grade room, and it's just like you're a teacher, but you're not getting paid. So I don't want to say like I wasn't full-time, but I was full-time then, but I was also then doing that and then having to go to school. So there's no time for a job. So I did that, but that was a part of my schooling. I worked in like an EXC program. I liked that. I really loved my like child development angle of like my degree. That was what I really enjoyed. I worked with all different types of kids and really enjoyed that. I feel kind of like if I were to ever, which I mean, I'm not gonna teach, you know, it's not a thing. Someone did say that really mean to me the other day. They were like, you're gonna be back teaching. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm fine. Like at this point, I've invested my money. Like I don't need, if this dropped off tomorrow, I'd be fine. And what's wrong with being a teacher, woman? She was like putting it down like, oh, you're gonna be a teacher. What's wrong with that? You sure as hell couldn't do it, guaranteed. I know it goes without saying, everybody's appreciative of teachers. When you actually get a little taste of it, it's like even crazier than not crazier, but it's a difficult, emotional, responsible. It's just, there's so much. Okay, it's a very hard job, very important job. Obviously don't have to say that to anybody, but then I did 1st grade. That was my big thing with student teaching. And then after that, like, so then I thought, okay, I graduated in December, so halfway through the year. So of course there were no like full-time positions that I could get. I was going all the way from like where we live, like north of Atlanta, to like I was going like, you know, down toward like the city. I was putting in like where I grew up, like when I was a kid. I was putting it all over the place. And that was around the time in 2000, I graduated in 2007 when the schools and the teachers were being laid off. Like there was a teacher at the school that I student taught at that had been there she was years, she'd been there for years. She was like a veteran teacher, okay, like whatever you want to call it. And they let her go, you know, and I'm like, well, I sure as hell I'm not going to be able to get a job here. So I couldn't get hired anywhere. And I was like, okay, you know, I'll get like a supply position, and never anything like full time. I didn't expect. And then Brad and I got married that February. I was putting in like crazy. I was applying at makeup counters at the mall just to get a job to fill in until that summer when I knew I'm gonna get a job. Spring, summer, I'll get a job for the next year. I was like so confident. And then I started doing a marketing job with a popular chicken fast food company. And then and what else did I do? Oh, I tried to work for Mac, and they were like, we're too cool. We don't want you here. Fast forward 2 years later, they're like sending me stuff and taking me to Lady Gaga. I'm like, oh, funny how that changes. But I was just trying to do whatever I could. And then I started, because I couldn't get a job, I wanted to do like a makeup job or something, work at the mall, or just because I'm like, I know the mall, I could work at the mall. I'll do that till I get my full-time position. And then naturally, I just started posting naturally, right? Like what was natural about that? It was very secretive and very shameful. Then I started posting my little like makeup. I think I started posting to this, oh gosh, what was it called? I posted like makeup looks, like pictures of just my eye, because I was like, I can't let anybody that I know see me doing this. And then I'd like list what I used, and then so many people would say, video, like start a YouTube channel, and this was when like, I mean, there was probably 5 people doing makeup videos on YouTube. Not really, but like there was nobody, okay? Like a few people. I mean, the community wasn't, I want to say like 5 known people. Like the community wasn't very big. This was 2008. And so then I think in August I posted my first video because I had worked through that summer with the marketing thing. And then I realized this teaching gig isn't going to happen. And I was pissed at the time that I didn't get it because I knew my credentials were so good. I knew I had done such a good job. But at that point I was like, this is bullshit, you know? And so I was like, I'm just going to do this. And I did. And it just turned into what it was, okay? Long-winded answer. So it was truly a hobby that turned into something, which is why I think that works, you know? So I think a lot, I mean, everything's so oversaturated now, but I think, you know, I see people trying to teach people how to do it, or, oh, well, I don't think if you naturally are going to do it, you can pick, then you're not going to do it, right? If you naturally don't have a little bit of what it takes, or a little bit of, you know, the personality or the skill or whatever to do something, or to be an influencer, to like make it big, quote big, like posting, whatever you want to do, a content creator, no one can teach you how to do that. And if you were handed an account with 200,000 followers and you were like, there you go, doesn't mean you're going to make it. Like, you have to know what to do. So I think a lot of times, like these training things, or people, I'm going to teach you how to do this. It's like, I feel like with any industry, like with doing anything like content creation or anything, right? If you want to be a realtor, no one can just tell you what to do. Like, you can utilize, as a realtor, as a content creator, I'm just using examples, as a teacher, you can utilize mentors to help you better places within your job, or within your, like, whatever you're trying to do, that you've already identified problems with. You have to know the questions to ask the mentor. You can't just go see a mentor and say, teach me how to be an influencer, teach me how to be a teacher, teach me. You have to have a natural ability, and you have to already know how to get your foot in the door and do it yourself, and then know the people to ask the right questions to, and know the questions to ask to better yourself. But no one can teach you how to do anything, and I'm just firm on that. Like, you have to already have a little bit of it, but you have to have mentors, but it's like you have to lead them a little too. Where do you wear all the clothes? Oh, I thought it said, where do you buy baby clothes? But that's not what it says. I need my glasses. Where do you wear all the clothes you buy? Where do you wear all the clothes you buy / have? Where do you wear all your clothes? Where do we wear? To the Taco Bell drive-thru, to piano lessons, to activities, to Target, to Walmart, to the grocery store, to vacations, to out to dinner. Where, I don't know. Where do you think I'm? Everywhere? Like, where am I wearing my clothes? I don't know. Favorite high quality clothing brand? I think there's so many. Okay, like I do feel like Abercrombie. 4 years ago, I would have been caught dead if someone would have said Abercrombie. I'm still scarred from growing up in the early 2000s wearing Abercrombie. I would have never been caught dead, ever. They've changed their whole vibe. It's beautiful, and I just bought t-shirts from Abercrombie the other day, and those long sleeved like mock neck tops. The quality of just their basics is like buttery and good, okay? Just the most basic baby doll t-shirts, which I'll show in the next video. So good. The jeans are high quality. You can find true high quality items at any price point anywhere. You just have to be a little more savvy. But I do feel like Abercrombie's somewhere where you can't go wrong. I feel like it's the brand all around is good quality. I think some brands are a little overhyped, a lot overhyped, and oh, and of course, I mean, I'm not saying this because she's like one of my closest friends, but L&M, okay, amazing. And to see like where her brand has come, how far it's come. I remember my cuffs that I first started wearing from her when she was doing jewelry, and now she's doing the most like high quality like leather bags and like items that she truly designs. She's not just like getting from some, slapping her name out. Like, she truly like puts so much heart into everything that she does. Her sweatshirts are amazing, all of her pieces. And so like, I can't wait to get her. We were just talking yesterday. I can't wait to get all the new stuff from her new collection. But her stuff has just gotten better and better and better. Amazing. Any handbags on your wish list? Honestly, no. And it's not because I'm not into them. I feel like I'm into things, and not things, but like more like good high ticket items that are like it's gonna last the rest of your life. I see the quality in that. Like, I have my great aunt's Bottega Veneta bags from the 70s and early 80s that are perfection, that look so good. Things do last. God, it makes me sick to think how much she paid for them back then. They were probably like a couple $100s. I don't even know. To think how expensive things are now, that's where I'm having a hard time, because it's like things when I bought my Chanel bags, or when I bought like certain Hermes things, or certain like Louis Vuitton things where I even see the price increase on those, and I understand there's gonna be price increases, but like all that stuff was expensive. But now it's like I see the prices of some of these things and I'm like, I'm not playing that game, and there's nothing that I want bad enough to have. And I feel like at some point you should have a good collection where it's not like, okay, done, but where you're not just constantly like hungry for more. And I love my designer items, I think, more than ever, because I really appreciate them. And like, I don't know, I just I take care of my things. But because I've got such great classic things, I'm not always just wanting for more. You know what I mean? So I don't really have any on my wish list. How old were you when you became a mom? I think I got pregnant when I was 30. I think I had her when I was like 31. I had her when I was 31, I think. How did you organize your home when your daughter was younger? My daughter is 4. Help, in all caps. Well, I tried to get things with storage. Oh my God, I gotta show you this. I gotta put everything away, right? If you've got bookcases in your family room and you're like, oh, look how nice this is, don't utilize that for your dumb crap. Literally put like baskets in there. I mean, to this day, those big built-ins under our cabinets in our family room, it's just toys. And a lot of times, like our family room, we have a couch that kind of hides things, so it's always trashed anyways. When you walk into the house, you can't see it. It's a little hot decor tip. Like, you know, maybe not have your family room so open. Maybe put a couch on the back of that. Maybe credenza, hide some of the chaos. But just baskets, always be cleaning out, okay? ABC, always be cleaning out, okay? Always be ditching things that your kid isn't gonna play with. All this plastic crap and junk and just junkety junk that comes in all the time. You guys know what I'm talking. Keep your kids' things. I'm a very sentimental person. Keep your kids' nice things, you know, but like, throw out a bunch of stuff, okay? You got to. And not throw out, but from the time she was little, we have a women's shelter close by, and I'd always like explain to her like these kids need stuff to play with. So even to this day, she's like, let's give this to the kids. You know what I mean? Like, get that in your kid's mind that like we're gonna donate things to kids that need it. Always like tell your kid that from a young age, so that then they appreciate their things, but they also won't care when you get rid of it. Because organizing is important, but it's not gonna matter at all if you don't clean out your stuff every now and then. Guys, I don't know, there's so much, but I can see the time here. So I'll save these for another rainy day, right? Another slow day. But you guys, I love you so much, and I appreciate all the time that y'all take hanging out with me here and always being here, and I just appreciate y'all so much. So I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good one. I'll link to everything I talked about. Bye, you guys.